Okay, we should be live.
Almost. I have the YouTube page up. I don't see anything.
Somebody just posted, and we're live, so.
Oh, that was Jesse.
Oh.
He doesn't count. Let me refresh.
I do for the metrics.
Oh, shit, we're live. Hey!
All right, take it away.
Yep. Hello, and welcome to the Legends of Tabletop podcast. We're getting ready to jump into our next session of Cthulhu Invictus, our continuing adventures in Shadows of the Oak. Last session, we spent the night in the barn planning things. We spoke to a couple of different families. We spoke to the family who presumably sacrificed their daughter, their blind daughter, to the undead stag creature. He said they were left with a horrible choice and decided to go with the stag's plan because they did not want to see their child starve to death. He did give the party a basket of food to spread out to the rest of their village compatriots, trying to ingratiate themselves or not make it seem as if they'd thrown their lot in with this horrific creature to the detriment of the rest of the village. We talked to the other family. There was a child spying on the barn in the morning. I think it was Malachi and Votemos spoke with the child. They also spoke with that family as well. They were somewhat angry when we got there to talk to them. The brother's boy was sick. I believe Curtius tried to do something for the child, although he needed a tooth extracted, which we were unable to do in the current circumstances. And pretty much the conclusion was that we needed to head off to the woods to where the standing stones were now fallen stones were and confront this evil creature. But also Curtius is pretty sure that this, because of the petty nature of the requests and sort of how this is going on in the village, that there is at least a human involved, if not a group or a cult of humans who have summoned this dark eldritch being. So kick it over to Oscar, and I guess we'll see what happens tonight.
Okay, so the farmer you spoke to was Timon, the poorest farmer in the town. The ones who sacrificed their daughter to save the rest of the family from starvation. And the other family, they were really pissed off at you guys because their town had been, the subject of multiple sorceress attacks, and their livestock were dying, and their root cellar was, moldy, and, and they were very close to actually offering that sickly child to the undead stag as a sacrifice just to be able to survive the winter. So to continue the recap a little bit, through both families, you learned how to find the shrine where these sacrifices are and the approximate location of the ancient druid grove that the Romans had destroyed. The standing stones they had toppled. And the key is head right into the woods until you hit the dead river stream bed, like the gully, and then use that as a road. Follow the river upstream, and eventually it will lead you right past where the fallen grove was. The guy who was going to sacrifice one of his children said that the stag said to me it would meet them there. And, in return for the townspeople confiding in you, they are hoping that you will intercede on their behalf with the Roman authorities because they haven't paid taxes in this village ever. and which is why they were nervous about asking for help. So they probably owe a lot of back taxes, and they desperately need loans and food and relief because nobody's going to survive the winter at this point. They've just lost too much of their supplies. And that was pretty much your whole day in gathering that bit of in gathering all of that information. So it was now late afternoon, so I did not know if you guys wanted to head into the woods so close to nightfall or wait until the next morning.
Let me just say, I think I'm going to start kicking the recap right to you when we start.
Sorry.
No, it's good. Because I don't always remember names and things like that. I mean, it'd take 4 pages of notes, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know.
Well, I just thought it was important to kind of get the whole reason of why they were so reluctant for help, to ask for help.
Was it clear how close is the old Druid stones to the place where...
In conversation, it had probably come up, and they were saying it's about a third of a day's walk. If you set a brisk pace at dawn, you can get there before high sun.
No, I mean, what? To what? To which one?
To the fallen, to the Druid Circle and Grove that had been destroyed by the Romans.
And how close is that to where the sacrifice is supposed to be wrought? It's the same place.
The sacrifices. That's probably a 40-45 minute walk from town.
Yeah. Okay. That's
very close. You just have to get into the forest, go north, and eventually you'll hit this dry gully.
And there's really no association between the two sites. That have we put any kind of real connection between the two sites, except they're both kind of spooky in some way, or
right? You do not, in fact, know that the Dark Stag is taking the sacrifices, although it's only gotten one at this point, to that old Druid Grove. But
did you just say that that's what it will do? Because that's kind of what it sounded like you just said.
I said there's no indication that it is doing that. But the fact that it's having them drop off the sacrifices on a trail that leads to it is a certain hint that that's
right.
It's an indication that it's in all likelihood that's where they're heading. That may not be the case, but if it says meet me on the road to Chicago, it's probably heading to Chicago.
It's like a full coincidence.
Well, gosh, let's go there at nighttime, I say.
Right.
By which I mean no, please.
No.
Much more learned people who get to decide these things.
Well, you can spend the night having a meal, getting some rest, and gathering supplies for this trip tomorrow. Yep. Curtius?
Obviously, the smartest option is to wait till morning, use all the available daylight to make this trip, and deal with whatever we're dealing with, food, all that, and everything. Just as devil's advocate, I would like to point out there might be an element of stealth. If there are people involved, they'll probably be asleep at that time. We might get an element of surprise. I think we probably should just wait, but I'm just putting that out there. If anybody else wants
wait
to
till morning or wait,
there's better options,
or do this at night,
or do this at night. Probably bad idea, of course. But
if we go at night, we'll need torches to light the way. So it will give away our position. If we get there later in the evening. So morning might be best, although I do feel like we are on somewhat of a time schedule. Do we feel like we have the night to give?
I suspect one way or the other, something will probably happen.
Yes, I feel as though we at least have a couple of days, and I believe that in waiting till the morning when we have light is the best opportunity. We best lay whatever advantages we can in front of ourselves. Going at night would only be a hindrance to us and perhaps a boon to whatever creature or people that we are out there to get.
So what can we find out about the Druid Stones, the site that's farther off? Can we access records at all about what those stones might have been? I feel like we found out a little bit that, it was kind of the standard.
There's no records here. I mean, it's a rural village. They haven't gone to that grove in an organized fashion in generations.
Yeah, generations. And this has only been happening for a few weeks or something like
Right,
that.
right.
Here,
This is all very new. They've been living peacefully beside it for decades. Well, not beside it, but, half-day travel away.
What do we feel of the stag itself? Is this also another summoning from these cultists, we should say?
I think the stag is the stag is probably a red herring. If it's actually a magical creature, then I don't know. It's probably less dangerous than the creature that destroyed that barn with that family in it. And if it's not a magical creature, then it's a charade by whoever's putting this forward. Easier just to dress up in dead animal skins and scare the hell out of people.
Possibly. Malachi, Votemos, did the stag strike you as anything other than supernatural?
You want it to be more than supernatural? I mean,
or less than?
It pretty much almost made me shit my toga. I mean, I don't really know what more to say.
It was undead. I felt like I didn't want to fight it, and I want to fight everything.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was definitely a pretty horrifying specter, that's for sure. And the thought of something substantially larger, perhaps motivating it, or being on its side, is even more horrifying.
Do you think that would lend itself to there being more than one cultist present then to wield such magics? Herminius, you're familiar with witchcraft, are you not? What does your experience tell you?
Well, without any further examination of the creature or the area, it's hard to tell, but my initial summation would be that we are indeed dealing with some type of necromantic witchcraft.
Doreena, you are from here. Is there anything in your tales that would indicate that druids would summon undead creatures?
It should be something I would know. Let's see. What can I
roll
roll
for a cult?
All right, let's do this. 76.
No.
Unfortunately, I do not know of any tales or any information about the druids.
From a time long ago, then.
Yeah, from a time long ago.
All right.
So when we go toward the area, how do we want to present ourselves? Do we all want to be visible at the same time? Because we're thinking that it could possibly be more than one person, I'm a little concerned with having everyone in one area. Not saying to spread out, but having one or two people who are very handy lurking in the background may be helpful. What do you think?
I believe possibly going along that idea, if we perhaps split into 2 groups, still stay within eyesight or ear, within ear of each other. But if one of us is ambushed, then at least the other one will be able to come to the rescue. They can't get all of us in one single blow.
Thank you. That definitely addresses the concern I have. What will we be taking with us?
I believe we discussed oil. Yes, Malachi was insistent that fire seemed to work on the larger creature that we have yet to see.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm not sure splitting us up is the best idea. I'm more concerned not so much about them taking us all out in one blow, but taking us out in 2 much smaller parties in 2 separate blows. May be a lot easier to do. I don't know if we should be too spread out.
Out of the group, who's a competent fighter? Raise your hand.
Doreena.
I can hunt.
Okay. So
I'm decent with a dagger.
So basically, we got true fighters, about 3 of them, and then the rest are very cushy people. What I would call cushy.
I'll say from my one experience with a creature somewhat like I suspect we may be encountering, that I don't know if fighting is necessarily, at least the kind of fighting that I'm familiar with, is our best course of action.
So I would go with a group that is still one group, but not walking separate, but walking within feet of each other. With warriors in front, warriors in the back, and then the people that are the cushiest in the center to have more protection. That way we have people around them.
What about the middle? Since there's 3, we put 1 warrior in the front, 1 warrior in the back, and 1 warrior in the middle.
That's fine to me.
And by that measure, 1 brainiac in the front, 1 brainiac in the middle, and 1 brainiac in the back.
No, it'd actually be 1 brainiac, a warrior, and then 2 or either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, I just want to go in with the understanding of like who is where, things along those lines. Now we did say that oil, fire. Is there any other materials that you would think is useful, Malachi, that we should get ahead of time?
Nets, ropes.
Yeah, anything flammable. I don't know if there's... I mean, the problem, of course, is if we have to go over half a day's walk or hike, it's going to be hard to carry too much supplies, but...
Okay, so I have 50 feet of rope. I believe I have a net. I'm looking right now. I have 12 torches. Yes, I have, oh man, I'm like digging through my bag and just can't find everything. It's like the never-ending purse. Yes, I have 2 nets. So, what does everyone else have?
Basically the same.
I don't have anything that would be quite useful in this situation aside from a clay lamp, and I don't believe that'll hold as much oil as we need. He pulls out a couple of quills and some papyrus. He says, I don't think this is going to quite be what you're looking for.
I have my daggers and my wits.
I got a few things, but no, I got like torches, but I do not have any nets or rope or anything like that.
Yeah, just a medical bag. I have a lantern, vial of oil, of lamp oil, but nothing that can be, nothing in a combat situation.
In case something happens, there's everyone have rations. Because I do. So.
Oscar, would we still? Because we were traveling with our donkey and cart. Would we have sufficient rations? Because we were obviously not planning on stopping here.
You were only here. You've only been here, I believe. Tomorrow will be your third full day. It took you 1 day to get here, and
Okay.
I'm sure that
And-
you all had a week. So I'm going to say at this point you probably have 3 days left.
And
of
I
food.
would say,
and you could stretch that to
I would think that
5.
as a party that we might have given some of that food out to the villagers, or maybe not. I feel like we probably would have, although I guess it didn't come up.
No, it hasn't.
So
I definitely gave some of mine.
Yeah, as we're taking stock, then Macrion says, as we discuss the food, perhaps we should distribute some of the rations that we brought, as at least to the children.
We have the basket that the Timon family has provided to give to multiple families as well.
You realize that's not going to really make any meaningful difference. I mean, you're talking about a couple of hundred people, and you have a basket of food. Unless these people get relief, like meaningful relief, probably by this time next week, it's going to start getting ugly.
Okay.
But you know that can't happen until this, whatever this is in the woods, is removed.
Well, hadn't we already offered that we were going to give them some money to subsidize, like, so they could buy from whatever local markets they go to or something like that? I mean, even I still have enough cash to probably keep them pretty happy for a little bit based on what we decided last time.
Right, but the last time someone left the village, their entire family was killed. So even if you gave them the money, they wouldn't leave because of the example that's already been set.
Yeah, that was an after this situation is resolved sort of thing.
Yeah.
All
right.
Then let's get some rest and head out in the morning.
Everyone make a luck check. Oh, Curtius, go ahead.
Oh no, I had a nagging thought. Now we have a basic landmark of the dry riverbed, and from there we can strike out to the standing stones. Is there a way we could take a few extra hours and perhaps come in from an alternate route too? So this is a dry riverbed. Is there
Doreena might be able to plot that with a hard success on a navigation roll.
All right. Let's take a stab.
But then you wouldn't get to there until mid-afternoon.
You say you wanted a luck roll?
Yeah, everybody make a luck roll.
63 under 67.
87 over 65.
Exactly what I needed. 62.
Okay.
3 out of 60.
Wow.
Nice.
Everyone, it doesn't matter.
You should cancel me if
one
we add them all
of
up.
you failed. One of you failed. I was just looking for one of you to fail. All right. Who was taking watches? How many watches did you have, and what was the order of them?
Are we going to take the different route? Because if we are,
we're not there yet.
Okay, got it. Sorry.
I assume we all probably take a watch to spread that out so that everybody gets a decent amount of sleep.
Yeah.
I take the middle of the night watch.
Okay.
I'll take the first.
All right, Herminius, since it was your luck roll that caused all of this, I need you to make a listen check.
All right. That I'm mediocre at. 76 out of 50.
Okay, so you hear nothing. All right, you guys wake up fine.
Hear nothing, but wake up fine.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Totally fine.
Meanwhile, the rest of the village has been trampled into the ground. But
Oh my god.
we wake up on top of a pillar in the middle of a crater.
but we slept like
All right.
babes.
Someone's child is dead.
You get up early, getting ready to start out on this adventure, into the woods. And as you go to grab your packs and equipment and stuff, all of the bags that contain any kind of food have been chewed into by mice. And the food is either eaten or fouled by mice excrement and urine.
Oh, that's great.
So, like, mice have
You
gotten
didn't
into
say
all of
mice
your
urine, though.
What?
You didn't say mouse urine, though.
It's mice here. Well, mice pee wherever they go. They leave a trail of pee wherever they walk.
Did you have to Google this, by the way?
Actually, I watch a lot of nature shows.
Herminius is a connoisseur of urine, you see. So
I am. Yes.
It matters.
So,
It matters.
like, you go in.
I do a
you're
lot
like,
of tracking.
I'm gonna grab a hardtack biscuit and some cheese, and like literally, you go in there and there's holes chewed in. There's like mouse pellets everywhere, and your food's all nibbled on, and it's just like So at this point, you have no food.
Great.
Wait, even the basket?
Yes, even the basket.
Oh.
Well, that's
So-
unfortunate.
And we secretly spy one mouse throwing a cloak up over its head and laughing as it runs away.
Yeah. Wait a second. I mean, this is a little.
You guys can be. You'll be fine for 2 or 3 days, with no food. It did not get into your water skins or your wine skins, so you have water, and it's been raining. It's very easy to gather fresh water, but yeah.
Doreena, perhaps while we are out accomplishing our task, just keep an eye out for game. You are a huntress, yes?
Yeah, I can definitely look out for game.
We
As
can
long
always
as we
circle
feel that that won't create a distraction, I'm okay with that.
Indeed.
And if we see any stags, that are not undead, we can try to kill it.
What if it's alive but then dead? No, I'll see myself out.
Okay, so your plan is to get to the dry riverbed, and then once you find that, to kind of take an extra couple of hours and kind of come at the shrine from a different direction, not directly following the riverbed.
If that's possible.
Doreena, make a
I will spend 1 luck point. Oh wait, it has to be a hard, right?
yeah.
Oh, then that's too many luck points. I can't do that.
Okay, so she thinks that she is. And you find yourself lost. It's by now it's probably about 3 p.m. You should have found the grove by now, but she realizes that somehow she's gotten spun around in the fog, in the overcast sky. So you've been wandering these woods for literally hours. You can roll again to at least try and backtrack away to get to the riverbed. So you actually get bearings to either get back to town or continue on.
Do I need a hard success or just a success?
Just a success.
Then I made the success.
All right. So you start heading downhill towards, where the natural contour would indicate where a river might have flown through. Fog's rolling in, the sun's getting low now. You figure if you could find the riverbed and make haste, you could probably get out of the forest before full night. And when you get to the riverbed, standing in like literally standing in the dried riverbed ahead of you, with fog, swirling about its legs, is a large, rotting stag with red glowing eyes, and it's literally just in your path. And it says, "I knew you wouldn't heed my warning."
What warning? I wasn't there for a warning.
I need everybody to make a sand check.
Those of us that have seen it too.
Yes. It's scary every time.
24. I'm good.
Made it.
38.
36.
Made it.
33 under 85.
Okay, you all pass.
Could I do using my my past history with witchcraft and sorcerers and such? Could I make an insight or perhaps something along the lines of being able to suss out whether or not this is like a spirit creature or if it's being controlled by magical means?
You can't tell. They'd look almost identical.
So I want to build on that. Can I use natural world? Because I should know what.
There ain't a goddamn natural thing about an undead.
That's the thing. I should know what dead animals look like.
It looks like a dead animal, except it's standing upright with glowing red eyes and talking.
So there's nothing about it that looks slightly different.
It's dead and standing up, which means that it's very different than every other dead deer you have ever seen. In fact, in your experience, this is unique. Curtius?
I'm looking for sticks behind it.
That I'm going along the same thing. Like without getting too close to it, I want to just try to observe it and just try to see, like, okay, is this actually like a biological creature? Because I've been saying from the beginning that it's a guy in a suit too. It
takes a few steps forward, and you're pretty sure it's not a guy in a suit, and there's no ropes on it. And it says, "Well, you haven't brought anyone sickly, so I doubt you've chosen to sacrifice one of your own. But if you wish to reconsider that, we'll accept one of you to let the other the others live. If one of you agrees to come with me, the others can leave the forest in peace as a tribute." And then you can see it snorts, and almost like steamy smoke comes out from its nostrils, and he goes, "But we both know you're not going to do that, don't we?"
Sly grins across the whole group.
Yeah, all of us grin.
I got not much to live for, to be honest.
He says, "Well then, all 5 of you dead will suit me well anyway. Makes no matter to me." And it charges.
Right.
What do you guys want to do?
I'm going to dodge.
You don't know who is attacking, but you're diving out of the way. Okay.
I thought it was my spear.
You what?
My spear, the magical spear.
What about it?
I'm gonna attack.
Okay, Macrion.
Fuck. I mean, he has his spear awkwardly in front of him because he's not super great with it. But I think
I'm gonna have to give you lessons after this.
Yeah, I think he's going to jump out of the way. Like, if it looks like it's coming at him, he jumps out of the way.
Okay, so you run one direction, Curtius runs the other direction. Votemos plants Malachi.
What's the size of this thing relative? I mean,
65. It's a large red deer.
I mean, so probably 180 pounds, maybe.
No, way more than that.
More than that? Bigger?
I mean, if it's a full red deer, it's got to be like good 600 pounds or something like that. Probably 500 pounds. Oh God.
440 pounds before it started rotting.
So
I
we've been 180
I just looked it up. How much does a red deer weigh? Oh, there you go.
440 pounds.
I love the internet. So does that influence your action, Malachi?
I mean, so is it just charging headlong right into us? I generally
And it's starting to lower its antlers.
Oh, for God's
Who is it
sake.
charging at?
You can't tell. But two of you have decided it's not going to be me and just run away from the sides of the group.
They're like, nope.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm going to try to keep myself centrally located because I sort of feel like my job is to try to block other people from getting hit, but I'm ready to kind of jump out of the way at the last minute to dodge the antlers and then whack it on the head if I can.
Okay. Herminius?
Yeah, I'll jump and roll out of the way and prepare both daggers. I have the Fey knife and my Pugio, and I'll kind of go along with Malachi.
All right,
and I'll
Doreena?
try to go to the side with him.
Okay, so call me crazy, but
Crazy.
thanks.
Crazy.
I want to try to get its knees out. So you said the size is 65.
Right.
So I'm a size 50. I'm obviously smaller. What if I dodge into its legs?
What if? Oh, do you have your netting out that you were talking about?
I do have my netting, but
not
my
out.
net is 35. My throw is greater, and I do have a blanket.
I was
so
more
I
just
could
thinking
go for that.
if we could have prepped for this, it would have been great to have just sort of pulled a rope out in front of him and let him trip right
All
over
right,
it.
Doreena, what are you doing?
I'm gonna try to dodge myself into its legs.
So you're going to make a brawl attack and just kind of like dive into it to try and
Chop
Take out
block.
its legs. It's gonna be like what is it, in Battle of Hoth, taking out that big AT-AT, right? Like,
And I actually did that in a Star
Hey, you remember
Wars
that
game
wicked old
about
movie?
11 years ago. So yeah, pretty much.
All right. Doreena, what's your dex?
My dex is 60.
Votemos, what's your dex?
Oh, me? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
70.
Malachi, what's your dex?
70.
Its dex is 80.
Ooh.
So, Doreena, as you dive forward, it just like literally leaps over you like a stag. Which leaves only Votemos or Malachi holding their ground. And it will attack. I'm just going to roll randomly. It will attack Votemos, or will attempt to attack Votemos. And misses.
Yay. So I attack it back.
Yeah, I immediately go in on it too.
Okay, roll.
That was a hard on the spear.
Yeah. Yep, I got
Okay.
10 out of 89.
Okay, roll the damage, both of you.
Nine points.
Guy doesn't even have his dice out.
Sorry. Oh yeah, 7.
Okay, 2 good hits. It chuckles and changes directions and will either charge and attempt to gore either Curtius or Macrion, or Macrion and Herminius, because they ran one direction, Curtius ran the other. So it like leapt past the first line of defenders. You guys hit it on its haunches as it rode by you, and it's just going to trade direction and run for somebody else. So it actually peels off and charges Macrion and Herminius. You don't know who it's going for. You dodged last round. The only option you can have is to either dodge this round or hope it misses and gets ready to attack you. Curtius, and everyone else can act after it attacks. So do either wish you? I don't know who it's going to attack because I haven't rolled it yet, but it's charging down on both of you. And what do you guys wish to do?
I want
Wait.
to.
I need to know what they're doing as they're being attacked, and then the whole group can go. So Macrion, Herminius, what are the two of you doing?
So I dove out of the way. So he's just going to come up with the spear. So if it charges at him, that maybe it impales itself.
So you're going to get ready to hopefully impale it.
Yep.
Okay. Herminius.
Racing with the ground.
I'm going to attempt to dodge out of its way and see, hopefully, if it like runs by me, I can then rush behind it and try to attack it blind.
Okay, it does not go for you, Herminius. But Macrion, it does go for you. You will be attacked, and then I'll roll. You can roll your attack to see, and then everyone else can go.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
100.
It actually it misses, but it misses because it grabs the spear in its antlers and just literally, as it runs by you, pulls it out of your grasp. And with 100, it goes off into the fog, and it doesn't. You lands nowhere where you can see it.
I really think Macrion should reconsider learning spear at this point.
Okay, so
Fuck!
everyone else except Herminius can go. So we're just gonna go. Votemos, what do you do? I'll call out your name.
I attack it, and I hit. 14 point max damage.
You know that would have like almost killed a boar. It doesn't really seem to be phased. Curtius, what do you do? You're like hitting it. You hear bones breaking. You're like opening these gashes, and black gore is falling out of the carcass, and it's not even slowing down. Curtius.
I'm going to take my vial of lamp oil, and try to throw it at it.
Make a throw roll.
No.
Okay.
Negative.
Macrion, you went already. Malachi.
All right, I'm going to try to club it again. I make it just barely under half. 8.
Okay, takes the hit. It does not seem even phased.
Damn it.
Herminius, you would dodge. Doreena, what do you wish to do?
I'm taking out my net. Would that take up the entire?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I take out one more item at the same time, or no?
No. Okay. It will turn on Malachi this time.
Shit. Doreena, I think just fouling it in your net might help a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I have a low net, unfortunately.
Roll your armor, Malachi.
Oh, good. Ugh. 4.
It literally hits you with the antlers and lifts you off your feet. Thankfully, the armor takes about half of the damage. you're hit for 3 points. I mean, it would have done 7. And it literally like gores you, tosses you to the ground, takes a few steps, snorts, and says, there is no pain when one is dead. I can do this for eternity. It says, "Flee, you fools, or submit, or welcome oblivion with open arms." What do you guys wish to do?
It threatened to kill us. Now it's telling us that they want us to flee. So I'm thinking that it's growing weaker. That, or if there's a caster in the area, it might not be able to control it as well during battle.
So you spend the round thinking. Curtius, what do you do?
Can I help Doreena with her net? Okay, she said she doesn't have a good net. Could I hold it with her and everything and try to?
Because you don't know how to use it. You'd probably just get in her way.
Okay. I am going to try to pull its attention. I'm going to call out to it.
Okay.
I'm going to call it. Try to call to its attention. Try to pull its attention so the fighters have a better shot at it. Ooh.
Okay, Macrion.
Fuck. He just yells out, "Who had throw the oil?"
Somebody did and it missed. Malachi.
I'll try to stick it with the Fey spear.
Okay, you come forward with the spear and it charges you again.
Can't keep doing this.
It was holding its action, and it will miss, but you can attack.
All right, I just barely make the spear by 1 point.
Okay, roll your damage.
For some reason I don't have the spear damage down. It's the Fey spear. What's the damage? Who else has
it's a two-handed spear. It's like 1d10.
1d10. Okay.
It's like a heavy
7.
boar hunting spear. 7. Okay.
Is there a damage bonus on that?
Just a strength bonus.
Okay. 7 plus 2, 9.
Okay. Herminius.
I am going to still on the mindset that this is a spell of sorts. I'm gonna attempt to cast my own, and I'm gonna do warding sign.
And what does that do?
Possibly, so it allows. It says that it allows me to ignore a guarded area. So thinking perhaps if this particular area that the creature
it does
is
nothing.
in,
Is what you're saying.
All right. I don't know.
All right, Doreena.
I'm gonna have to. Will my net make it to him?
You make a throw roll.
Oh, dear. Yeah, no, not even close. I like.
Okay.
I yell, we got to try to break the legs.
All right. It charges Doreena this time. Doreena, roll your armor.
1d4. 4.
You take 2 points of damage after the 4 points are absorbed.
Okay.
And it gores you. And you hear it chuckling. I mean, for all the damage you've inflicted, it doesn't seem to be the least bit harmed. And party's round. It has attacked.
Can I yell something as I attack?
Sure.
As a search for a caster, as I again try to hit it with the spear.
Okay, roll your spear
For
attack.
what? I didn't hear it.
That is a.
Look for a caster.
Okay.
I rolled out of 85 a 10.
Okay. Give me damage. Although you should be figuring it out, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. 7.
Curtius.
Spot hidden to try and look for somebody
Roll.
working that. I do not make it.
No. Okay. Macrion.
I do the same. Well, attempt to, anyway. 91.
Malachi.
I'm gonna swing at its legs as hard as I can. Just
Okay.
try to totally break one of its
You
legs.
will, for that is a called shot, you will need to make a hard success.
Okay, 34.
Hold on,
out
wait,
of 80
1 second. I want to look something up.
34 out of 89.
Whoever's doing the heavy breathing, this isn't that kind of podcast. Since it's a called shot, you have to make the attack with 1 penalty dice.
Okay,
Sorry, just needed to look up that special rule.
no worries. All right, 34 was the first one, and 03 is the second one.
You break one of its front legs, it will slow its movement, but it's not crippled it. Herminius.
I don't want to sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but going off of my previous thought that this is a summoned creature, I'm going to peel off and try to kind of search near the area to see if I can find the person controlling this creature.
Just how? Just to try and spot them?
Just spotting it. Just trying
Roll spot hidden?
to suss it out. That is an 3 out of 50.
You are certain there's no one in the area but you and him.
Oh, damn it.
Doreena.
That is such a defeated.
So net gone, just me by myself. It already shanked me. I'm gonna try to go for the legs at this point. That's the only
Okay,
thing
that would
that's
be
effective.
a called shot, so it's a penalty dice.
So it needs to be for which stat again? I apologize.
Your attack roll, penalty dice to your attack roll.
Okay. I got a 19. So
And then one more time.
thank you. Sorry, brain.
No worries, no worries.
35.
So both hit.
It's just the tens.
Okay, you hit it on one of the back legs, so now its movement rate is halved, and it's like hobbling around crippled, but it doesn't really appear any less.
That's fine. He'll be like the Knight of Knee pretty soon here. The undead.
He
elk of-
attempts to gore Malachi one more time and misses. So Votemos.
Everybody seems to be doing the leg sweep. I'm gonna try to attack the leg also. You said penalty die.
Yes.
First one is 40 out of 85. Second one is 13 out of 85.
All
Excellent.
right, so I'm guessing you're going to go for one of the 2 unbroken legs.
Yes.
Okay. Curtius?
Spot hidden again.
No one in the area.
Oh, okay. All right.
Macrion?
Since 2 or 3 of its legs are broken, he's just gonna fucking jump on it and try to drive it into the ground.
You're going to wrestle the stag.
Yeah, that's my
Oh.
go-to.
Okay. Roll.
From the back, he's not going towards the head. He doesn't want to get gored. 25 out of 51, so hard success.
Okay. Malachi?
All right, I'm gonna try to break the last leg. 50. Okay, and is that 100? 02.
Okay, all 4 of its legs are broken. It's now hobbling around on 4 broken legs, but it still has, and and there's someone lying on its back. So, Herminius, what do you wish to do?
I'm going to just yell out to everybody. This is not what I thought. This is a monster. We are not prepared.
Doreena?
Thanks.
Okay.
Point.
Since it's hobbling around, I want to take out a torch and a flint to light the torch.
You do realize that one of your party members is wrestling it. You may want to think twice on setting it on fire.
He'll
It's
figure
fine.
it
Go
out
ahead.
once he sees the torch.
That's good.
We know fire works.
No, do your thing. I'll jump off.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know if that takes one round just to light it. Do I get to do
You
anything?
now have a lit torch.
Okay.
Macrion, I hate to say this, but roll your armor.
All right. Hopefully I get the D4 everybody else got. No, only 3.
All right, you were hit for 1.
All right.
I didn't roll that well. All right, party's around.
So it's still running around on 4 broken legs.
Well,
Not
yeah,
running
it
anymore.
actually gored Macrion and kind of flipped him off his back.
Lord mighty.
And it's like hobbling around on like 4 obviously broken legs. Votemos?
Does it have anything resembling eyes?
Well, yes, it's got a head with 2 eyes.
Okay.
Glowing red eyes.
I'm gonna aim for the eyes and try to steady.
Go ahead. 1 penalty dice. 2 if you don't want to hit Macrion. No, actually, I said he was thrown off, so Macrion's off. So
Okay. First one is an 18. Second one is a 26.
so it does hit.
Yes, both of them.
So the cold shot to the head does manage to instantly kill the zombie deer. And you should all be ashamed of yourselves to have taken this long to figure it out.
No one. Okay, who in ancient Rome has seen Night of the Living Dead, dude?
So
Nobody in
GB
a zombie movie has ever seen a zombie movie.
GB hits it for a cold shot to the face, and it just goes down. So you don't need to set it on fire or Macrion on fire.
I still want to set it on fire. Honestly,
Not a bad idea.
I've never seen anything like that before. I just
You
want to
can
light it
set it
on
on fire if you want.
Thank you. I got like 11 more torches. Just put that one down right on its body. Oh, before I do, is there any emblems or any marking, anything suspicious on the body? Because now I'm up close to it, and it's gross as fuck, but anything on there?
Make a spot hidden roll.
Fluffer. An 8 out of 75.
Wow.
When GB shattered its skull with this large spearhead, you see that all inside of the skull,
Mm-hmm.
it's packed with holly leaves.
Cool. Holly leaf. Interesting. Okay. Now, would anyone know why holly leaves are in a zombie?
Would
Before I light it on
anyone be able
fire.
to roll a occult roll?
Yeah, I'm assuming Macrion is the occult knowledge seeker.
Cult.
41 out of 60.
A 76.
Macrion, holly is a sacred plant in many religions. And the Druids felt that it was the sign of everlasting life because it was one of those plants that was green all year long.
Druid,
Yes.
huh?
So
That's
that is interesting. Yes. I mean, if the druids were driven out, I don't know why they would come back to plague their own countrymen. Although, if they feel that they have turned away from the old ways, they could be seen as traitors to the religion. It could be coincidence. It could be that the cultists know something of the old ways from Britannia.
You did say it was many religions. Maybe
True.
they're not druid.
Perhaps not.
It's the only
Could also
religion practiced in this part of the world where holly is sacred.
Okay.
And holly is not found everywhere. Curtius?
Who's got the most injuries? So I can. Okay.
I'm down 3. I don't know if anyone
Down
else is
3.
first.
Well, I mean, I'll check you.
Okay.
All right, so I make my my medicine roll. I mean, first aid. Yeah.
Okay.
Does anyone else have injuries aside from myself?
Curtius, what did you make
Yeah.
it with by? Was it a hard success?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. When you started cleaning out the wound, there were bits of like gore and rotting flesh mixed into the wound, and you realize fighting this thing is a recipe for infection. You're pretty sure you were able to clean out the wound, but it's definitely going to be an issue for anyone who is injured by it.
Okay.
Because some sadist actually made up rules for infection.
Of
You
course.
you should probably like take a look at this, and he holds his arm up, and he's got like a fucking hole through it.
I think Doreena was also hit.
I'm
by
gonna check I'm gonna go,
I
Make a
have
medicine
first
roll
aid.
on Doreena.
and I got to get hard successes or just
Yeah, hard success on medicine.
hard success on medicine. Okay. That is not a hard success on medicine.
Okay,
For,
you do the best you can for Doreena. Roll your first aid.
not a hard success. I make it, but not a hard
Okay.
success.
You get Malachi, you get 2 points back. Doreena, you get 2 points back. Macrion.
Okay. That is not a hard success on medicine. Not a hard success on first aid.
Okay.
Just
In
successes.
your head, you're doing the
Damn
best you
me.
can, but you would be surprised if one of them didn't come down with a bad infection in a day or two. You don't know if you want to tell them that at this point. You're pretty sure that if you could get them back to Aqua Soleus in the next 2 or 3 days, you could handle the infection and get them through it. But that's now a concern.
Yeah. But right now, I mean, it's no point trying to scare people with things I can't do anything about. So
Right.
You guys I patch them up as best I can and just keep it. And just,
Macrion, you had only been hurt for 1.
Yep.
You like bandages it up. You're not, get the point back.
Okay, cool.
Unaware of the time bomb
Right.
coursing through your blood right now.
Thank you, Curtius. That is most kind. I feel much better.
yeah, no problem.
All right.
Right.
All right.
If only I'd seen Night of the Living Dead and knew what would be happening soon.
Curious and Herminius, as you were desperately looking about the area, one of you noticed about 100 yards up the dry gully. It opens up into a clearing where you see some objects, like dimly through the fog.
Okay.
But something that's not a tree, but that does tower above what a tall man should be, and it's just standing there, some kind of large object, stationary object, peeking through the fog.
Would Curtius, would you be okay with the two of us, since we are kind of the more suspicious of the two, We are the two that have kind of been the, this is an outside source.
Yeah.
So the two of us kind of surveying the area and coming out with this.
Yeah. As far as the thing that's towering over there, larger than a tree, that's not I can
Not
see
larger
what
than
that
a
is.
tree.
Oh, okay.
It's smaller than a tree, but it's larger than a man,
Yeah.
and it's just a stationary object.
Yeah.
So do you guys? So you two want to sneak forward to try and see what it is away from the rest of the group? Is that what the plan was?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know how much I can sneak. I'm not very stealthy. I'm kind of a fat old middle-aged man,
But I mean, you were just involved in a knockdown, drag-out battle right here. So
well, I just ran away and threw things at a distance. So, I mean, I didn't fight. I'm not going to.
Two of you want to go up and investigate.
I'll be
Yeah.
at the very least. Herminius will be curious and try to take a closer glance.
I will approach. I'm not going to try to be stealthy. I'm not going to try to yell and scream, but I'm going to approach and try to be stealthy. I'm going to walk up.
Okay, so the two of you start walking up. The rest of you see that they're walking towards this clearing with an object. Sucks to be you, Macrion. That's all I can say. It will. When the fog lifts, we can try again. You start moving towards that, and you start to see things a little bit more clearly through the fog. You see a number of objects now that you're closer. The large one I'll describe last. In front of the large object, it looks like there's a massive tree stump. I mean, simply massive. It's probably about mid-thigh high, and this tree must have been, a towering tree at one point, but it's been cut down long ago, and all that's left is this, mighty stump. On top of the stump has been laid a massive expanse of black slate. Almost as if to make a table, like a massive table. The slate is probably about 7 feet across, circle, and it's stained with blood.
Yes, I was about to say sacrificial altar.
Behind it is a statue, freshly carved and fire blackened. Rather artistically done, although it, you can tell it's been done crudely, probably with some kind of a hand axe. And the statue is of a, let me find the description. It is 10 feet tall, and it appears to be a pregnant woman with 6 swollen breasts, hugely engorged loins, and the head of a goat with 2 pairs of horns, 1 ram, and 1 antelope.
All right. Well, I am horrible at a cult, and my
Behind
mythos
that-
is even worse. Oh, there's more!
Behind
And there's
that,
more.
But wait!
But wait.
Behind that, you see a mess of fallen stone that were probably 15 feet high, 4 by 4, 15 feet high, lying on their sides, kind of half on top of each other, covered with moss and vines. But it looks like this is the toppled Druid Circle.
Okay. So 2.
One
I'm
second.
not sure.
I need both of you to make a luck roll.
Okay.
I make it.
11. Yep.
Oh, both of you made it really well.
So I'd like to in my tracking of sorcerers and such. I'm gonna throw this out. So I'm gonna try to lay down a warding sign again, just in case this area is mystically trapped, or if they have an alarm spell of such. So.
Okay.
If there is, it would be an opposed POW.
Okay. You start casting.
Mm-hmm.
So you're distracted in casting the spell to hopefully, remove any kind of magical warding or protection from this spot. And Curtius, you see a figure step out from behind the statue. And he says, "You have cost me nothing but time." And it's tall, thin, dressed in just rotting skins and rags with the deer helmet, mask, and antlers. And he starts casting a spell.
I run up to stab him.
Okay, what is your dex?
My dex is 65.
I'm charging him too.
They came ahead. If Curtius can kill this guy before he finishes the spell,
then drinks on me tonight, Curtius.
all right.
Wow.
His dex is 50. What's yours?
65.
You will get to him before he can cast the spell.
Come on, people. Everyone wish good thoughts.
Okay, that 00 and a 1.
Oh! Shenanigans! And the cam. I call shenanigans.
Oh,
Do we have to take a picture again? All right, I see a 00. I see a 1.
Yeah.
All right. You come running up. Basically, he has a black acorn in his hand. It's like he's holding it, and with the other, and he bites a bloody gash in his palm. And before you can put those two things together, you grab him by the neck and literally stab him through the eye, drive him into the dirt, and just press.
My prescription is paid.
And he convulses. And as he's dying, he's trying to close his hands, but you're kind of in the way.
Yeah.
And he falls.
Nice, good job.
Nice.
Beautiful.
You got all crouching tiger, hidden dragon on.
00.
Right.
1.
Nice.
I perform
Okay.
emergency surgery.
All right, so at this point, you see one of those large, apparently one of the large, huge standing stones that was lying on its side and covered with moss. It begins to kind of glow and shimmer, and then you see the mist kind of blow it away. And when it's gone, you see a large depression in the dirt, and around it a few massive hoof-shaped prints. So you realize one of those massive pillars was actually something else, something concealed in the mud.
So that was the Dark Young. Okay.
Right. But he was not able to, summon and control it in time.
Well, so much for answers. In questioning him.
Well,
Okay,
look, we were all dead if the Dark Young
No,
showed up. So
You did good.
No, you did great.
At the very least, the two of us were.
Did we even get there? Do we even know what you guys are doing yet?
No, you guys come up after and see that, the two of them have discovered the Druid Circle.
We're walking up hey, you find anything?
No, it's
And
all
there's
good.
this dead,
Area's clear.
mask off. It's just it's like a a crazy looking old man. And behind the grove, you find a cave with a few meager possessions. A pot, a crummy bed of furs and pelts, and some supplies stolen from the town.
Does he have any tattoos or markings on him, or do any of the?
Oh yeah, a lot of traditional Arabates tribal tattoos, but he also has a lot of Celtic augment tattoos. A lot of the tattoos have been tattooed over and altered in a very rough fashion. Like you see, you literally have to wash some of the body off to kind of see. But it looks like at one time he had a lot of beautiful tattoos, and then they were covered by the equivalent of prison tattoos to to kind of get more. You'd have to make an occult roll.
It was probably some druid cleric who checked out the wrong book from the druid library. Went down a path.
If you point it out, I can help you with the occult roll.
Yeah, is this like a guy?
Make the occult roll.
Yeah, I'll call Macrion over.
I can't really tell. It looks like he's tattooed over old tattoos. I can't really make anything out of it.
Anyone?
Use your luck if it's close enough.
I'll roll my occult just in case. It's not much, but hey.
No sign of the blind girl. Unless
any sign of I'm sorry, yeah.
Wait, unless what? Can I roll for it?
I was gonna say something unless you start checking piles of poop.
Oh, so no footprints whatsoever.
No, she got here. She never left.
I mean, there's a bloody altar, so
right. Curtius, you had a question?
It was just going to be. I wasn't really going to try for the occult thing. I was going to just basically search the area for signs of any other people that were here.
No,
it
looks like
not
he
just
was
the
here
blind girl.
alone. It looks like this was just his camp.
Yeah.
Can I check out the stones to see if there's any writing? See if there's anything decipherable on that.
Lots of Celtic Ogham stuff, like druidic prayers. A lot of them have been chiseled out. A lot of them are quite old. This was a sacred site.
Nothing that's been marked into it since. So if the druid stuff was taken out or chiseled off, was there anything chiseled into its place?
No, it was just vandalized.
Okay, all right.
GB, did you make the occult roll or no? All
Can I try occult?
Sure.
What about a Cthulhu Mythos?
That would work too.
Not when I roll it.
All right, I have that as well.
How is the scholar not making these?
Well, my Cthulhu Mythos is 13. I rolled a 30.
What was your occult?
60. I rolled I think it was a 77.
All right, not that it's not important. Basically, it was at one time his tattoos were like prayers and blessings, and at some point they were blasphemous. They were tainted. At some time, deliberately they were defaced. In a way that would almost deliver the opposite message.
Doreena, are you familiar with those kind of tattoos at all?
I did not make my rolls, unfortunately. I am unfamiliar with any of that.
All right. Even if you set a brisk pace, you won't be back before dark, but you do have plenty of tattoos. And if you follow the river bed, you should get right back outside of the forest. Curtius, you had a...
I do want to bring the body back of this criminal so I can show it to the Romans and say, okay, this is the criminal that was abusing these people.
Okay, you can easily do that.
I'll do it. I'll carry him.
Is there anything
Y'all don't
we
want to
could bring
camp
back-
in the Druid Circle?
Doreena?
Ew.
So you go ahead and
anything
camp there.
that we can bring back that was a representation of the girl? Is there anything like clothing, something?
No.
No.
Make an extreme luck.
No.
Got nothing.
I make the spot on our way back out to find my spear.
You do find
Oh,
this.
yay.
All right, so you get back to the village. It's dark.
They're all dead.
Do you want to call like a middle of the night town meeting, or do you want to wait till morning to inform them that the crisis is over?
Middle of the night town meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it would be more.
You summon everyone. You display the body. You're, praised as heroes. Everyone thanks you profusely. But
Do they recognize him?
no one's ever seen this fucking guy before.
Bastard. Do they have food? Because hungry.
They have very little. They are willing to share.
Okay.
But basically, they're all
Thanks.
hungry
Thanks,
too.
folks. Okay. We should order a feast for this village, I think. Once
All
we
right.
made them right with the Romans, perhaps.
Right. Well, that's going to be the next issue. We would like to get a cart and a representative to take to the town to negotiate with the tax assessor.
They nominate someone, and there's the cart you guys came with. So
All right. So we're going to load the body up, load up the guy who's got to stand there and talk.
do you want to spend the night, or do you want to?
No, spend the
Press
night.
on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
So
spend,
next
no,
morning
spend
you
the
head
night.
out. Okay.
Yeah, spend the night.
So the next morning you head back to Aqua Soleus, and Macrion and Doreena, you're not really feeling right.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely not.
You wake up in with sheets of sweat. The points where you were gored are inflamed, painful, and swollen.
Have you lost
Yes,
your
Doreena?
sense of taste and smell?
No,
No. Can I roll a natural world to see if those holly leaves mean anything?
They're just a druidic charm of eternal life, and the fact that you found it in a animated dead animal means it's kind of like a perversion of a druid rite. It's kind of like if you cast, cure serious wounds on a dead animal.
Okay.
You're not supposed to do it. Doesn't really make any sense, but if you do it just right, you'll bring that fucker back to life. Not really life.
No, I just didn't know if there was medicine properties behind holly leaves. I know the berries are not.
Roll your potions. Do you have craft potions? Then you got nothing.
No, but the gentleman who has medicine, would he know?
Oh no, I'm going to work on you. It's just
Does this
I'm
look
definitely-
right to you?
Okay.
This feels,
All right.
feels bad.
Are you
I'm gonna
Black.
Yeah, you look at him like, and you're like, well, one out of three is not bad. You were able to clean out Malachi's wound well enough to avoid massive infection.
But I'm in Aqua Soleus, so I should have,
Right. So you
better-
guys are sick for about a week under the doctor's care, or a doctor's care. It doesn't have to be Curtius. But you do eventually recover without any permanent harm.
And Curtis,
But,
are you going to
you
do
guys
something
are
about
like-
that little boy that needed the extra treatment?
Oh no,
Did you want to bring him with?
gotta-
Did you want to bring him with you to Aquasaleus?
Yes, we'll bring
Okay.
him with us.
So you can
I'll
treat
pull his tooth out.
all three of them, and you do his tooth extraction, and you meet up with the troops. You meet up with the guy you came in with, and those men, and literally, you see that they've brought up another unit from a nearby base, and they were getting ready to roll out with like 60 guys to the village.
And I'm looking at my friend. I'm like, we handled it for you.
He says, you have proof this has already started to roll out of control.
Yeah, we got we show him the body. We explain the situation.
He looks at the old man in the deer mask with one eye, covered in blasphemous tattoos, and he goes, "Okay, I take your word for it. Looks like it's handled."
Stop bragging like,
he was a criminal exploiting a Roman citizen.
So you have an appointment with. You want to make an appointment with the tax assessor?
Yeah.
To just sort of like stand by the town, and I said I'd speak up for them. So
Can Curtius and I tag team him? Can I like get him a bonus die by like backing him up, being like,
Sure.
That's
Easily enough. You find a tax assessor who's willing to go easy on them. And he says that there are actually some business opportunities here because they're close enough to town that if they start producing, they can start exporting goods to the town.
How much tax do they owe?
He goes, I won't know until I see the village and I assess their properties.
Is there a prediction at all how much it could be?
I have never laid eyes on this village. I couldn't tell you until I see it and assess it. He says that if you guys are willing to take, you were talking and asking if did you offer to offset their debt?
Yes.
Yes.
Perhaps also a gift to the assessor for his
leniency.
I was just gonna
leniency.
put it in his hand and say thank you.
How much of a gift?
How much?
50 thirsty.
What's an appropriate gift for his level and?
Oh, at least 500.
Oh, well.
This is like a high official. They deal in like thousands and tens of thousands of sesterces.
Half and half. I'll go Macrion half and half. I'll go 250. You.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that.
We present him the gift and everything, for his, a good Roman citizen.
He says, well, how can I refuse to heroes of the empire who have, slain a dark druid?
Oh, well,
he still takes the money.
Oh, no, of course. Yeah, no.
So you come back a couple of days later with the tax assessor. He looks over the village and he says that he draws up a plan where he's not going to charge them anything now. He's going to bring in relief supplies, and he's in the springtime, he's going to help them replant the village. And he's going to consider that an interest-free loan.
Wow.
And he's actually going to invest in the village to get them to start raising ducks and geese and more fowl, because he says that there's a shortage of like ink quills, and there's always a market for eggs. And if they can start importing, exporting to the town, it would be a good investment.
This assessor himself is going to make a shit ton of money.
Yes.
By being
he's willing to give the town 3 years to get back on its feet before he reassesses the value and then set the tax rate. So he's basically going to say, you don't owe me anything now. I'm going to take care of you. This is all a no interest loan to get you back on your feet. And in 3 years, when this place is worth something, I'll be taking my cut.
one of you smart guys see if this is actually on the up and up? I mean, is the cut going to be so brutal in 3 years that
It's as up and up as Romans are. Romans are.
Make an intelligent INT check. Is there a skill accounting? I think there is a skill accounting.
Oh, I have that.
I definitely
There is
do not have
accounting.
it.
Yeah.
If somebody really wants to check the accounting,
Seriously.
Can I make an insight?
you can roll an insight to see if he's being dishonest or not.
39 over 15. Seems legit.
I mean,
Nobody made insight or
No.
accounting.
No.
I'll roll an insight. That's kind of one of my things. 32 out of 70.
This guy seems to be dealing with them honestly, although the bribe was a big part of that.
Okay.
He's figured, like, I've already made 500 sesterce on just taking this meeting. So I can throw a little, and basically these people have nothing they could give him.
How much do you think so in 3 years? Do you have an idea how much their tax debt would be for the village?
It depends on how well the village is doing. If it's not doing well, I'd probably figure they'd have to start paying back the loan, but I'm willing to do that over a 10-year period. At worst, the loan payment plus their loan payment and the first year taxes would probably be 1,000 sesterce.
And that seems
If they're doing very, very well, it could be twice that.
And that's a standard rate for a village roughly of this comparable size in the area?
He goes, no, that's a new friends rate.
Oh, okay. Very good. Thank you.
And he's honest in that statement. He's not trying to, I mean, they have nothing. He's not trying to rake them over the coals. But there's an opportunity here. So
he's personally going to start a business off these people. He's going
Right.
to, as he's come as the tax assessor, but now he's going to actually use this place as a business. So,
right, he's now an investor in the town.
and then if his investment pays out, which he's pretty sure it will, then he'll be a very lenient tax assessor.
I can't
Right.
see any ethical issues with this whatsoever.
Ethics in Rome is what you get away with.
So yeah,
like modern Rome.
basically what happens over the next few weeks is they bring in supplies and they start propping the Macrion survive their very bad infections from fighting this undead stag. The child with the bad tooth recovers, returns to his family, and you guys you have completed the adventure.
Woohoo! Good job,
Thanks.
people.
Thanks to Curtius that,
And you did not have to fight the Dark Young of Shub-Niggurath.
Thank
God.
the gods.
It was
we
a
didn't have to
smaller
just
one.
die.
It was a smaller one. It only had 3 attacks per round instead of 5.
Oh, so it would only
And it was only-
it would kill half the group in
It
one
was only
round.
size 180, not 220.
Oh.
It was a
my
baby.
God.
Yeah, it only had 26 hit points, not 30.
I love how there's a tier of monsters, like really, and not even high tier, that are just death. It's like your lowest level monsters, like your deep ones in Bayaki, will kill you in one round, and then the tier above that is just, well, it's over. Then there's tiers above that, and there's tiers above that.
So really, this guy was like actually what Walter said. It was a shakedown.
Yeah.
He was just looking for a town he could terrorize, convert to the worship of Shub-Niggurath, and hopefully in a few years be the head of a vast cult.
Yeah.
But didn't work out. Knife to the eye will do that.
Hey, stab the guy casting spells.
The stag was just basically a zombie with some bells and whistles.
Yeah.
He
That's
can
always fun.
talk through it, see through it. It's difficult to kill because, it's a zombie. You'd already fought his wolf pack that he had charmed, so he no longer had that at his disposal. And really, it was just he had a bunch of simple spells that could just really be used in reverse, could just completely decimate a farming area.
Yeah.
Like, control weather, blight crops, lame animals. But for stand-up combat magic, all he had was summon Bind Dark Young or Niggeroth.
Oh, that's it.
It's usually enough.
Just casual.
Actually, usually the stag is enough.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh.
It didn't occur to me that, you said it was undead. You described it as undead, but it didn't occur to me that it was a zombie.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like, whenever somebody's fighting zombies, they've never seen a zombie movie.
Right.
But also, I mean, it was decaying dead. I mean, it just seemed like there probably wouldn't even be much of a brain in it,
Well, we should have known because we literally beat a guy to death who was a zombie.
Plus, it wasn't. I mean, was it actually a zombie or was it animated? I mean, which is a different thing. Like animated from an external force. Was it its own autonomous creature?
Now you're splitting hairs.
No, there's a difference. I mean, a zombie is autonomous. If it's a zombie that's piloted by an external wizard, then that's something else entirely.
All right, so for defeating the Dark Druid, I'm giving everyone doing sanity awards.
Ew.
Well, 4 points.
Mm.
That's kind of folded in for defeating the Dark Wizard, saving the town. And for defeating his stag, I'm going to give another 3.
I can't take him because I'm at max.
Well, that's not a bad
Yay.
place to be.
I'm back at max finally. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, I'm back at max.
Sweet.
So is everyone relieved or disappointed that the Dark Young was not brought into play?
No, that's good.
Oh,
I'm perfectly
Yeah.
happy with it.
Oh no,
would have
really?
been over if we hadn't
We're
if we had to fight that. I mean, that would have been a disaster.
It would have been kind of fun if there had been 50 Roman soldiers there to watch that mayhem, but
Oh wow! I mean,
Well, they would have just been pawns, and we would have just kind of hid behind and pretend to be experts,
yeah.
Well,
the
if we could have
experts
got some-
halfway to Londinium.
Yeah.
The only problem is that the Roman soldiers, when they came in, would have just started crucifying people
Yeah.
because they were looking for blood, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lost 2 of their own.
Yeah, so that would have been at least 20 people crucified, dude.
Mm.
All right, so that is Shadow of the Oak. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was pretty deadly, but
Oh yeah.
a lucky attack, and
Yeah. No. I mean, look, I rolled a 1. So I'm
yeah,
like,
we've had
okay,
that
let's-
happen
let's-
before in this game. I didn't believe it then. I don't believe it now.
True. Oh, Jesus.
Listen,
All right, that's it.
I'm too lazy to learn roll 20, so I can't see your dice rolls. So I'm just gonna.
When
I'm
I
gonna
bought-
get a
when I-
dice. I'm gonna get a dice cam from now on. Just have it pointed right there.
Listen, not
Hold
even
on.
I.
Hold
am
on,
so
Malachi.
bold.
Niels rolled a fucking 01 in the critical death moment like 2 scenarios ago. So I'm still butthurt from that one,
Oh God.
All right, well, I hope everybody had a good time. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to take the 30th off? It is the day before New Year's.
I
I'm
wouldn't
good.
mind, obviously, but we'll see. I mean, we can maybe play it by ear. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll
but-
play it by ear.
I'm good either way.
Yeah. I don't have work, like official work the next day, so I can sleep in a little bit.
Okie doke. So, take it away, Legends of Tabletop.
Cool. I want to thank everybody for checking this out. If you are a coffee aficionado, we have coffee for sale. The legendary brew can be found over at Birds of a Feather Coffee Company. You go to tinyurl.com/legendary brew. You can get the legendary brew is what it is. A little bit of the money comes back to the show. It's a nice, easy drinking medium roast. It's really good. It's roasted by our friend and GM Neil. If you use the code LEGENDS10, you get 10% off your order, and shipping is always free. It's almost like he's giving it away. So you can give that a try. I know Oscar really likes the Night Owl blend as well. It's the dark roast that they have. It's what I was drinking before. It's also fantastic. Doesn't have quite as much caffeine in it. Do with that information what you will. We have our Patreon up as well. If you'd like to throw a couple of sesterci at the podcast, that'd be fantastic. It helps us out a bunch. But what is free is you could leave us a review on iTunes or whatever your podcatcher of choice is. That's super helpful. Just sharing stuff on Twitter or whatever your social medias are. That's also super helpful. Just to bring more people around to the show. So I want to thank everybody for checking it out. And before we go, at least if you're watching this live, the Lovecraft Arts Council has a GoFundMe going right now. COVID is terrible for a lot of people. The shop is also sort of taking a hit. Neil's also is the president of the Arts Council, right?
Director, yes.
Director.
Yeah. Lovecraft Arts and Sciences Council, yeah.
And they put on the Necronomicon, which we're hoping that we're going to get next year, assuming enough people go get vaccines. And if you would like to contribute to helping to fund not only Necronomicon, but also getting people paid, the shop is taking a hit. Providence is a vacation spot, which of course no one is vacationing to. So that is also helpful. I'll get a link in the show notes for that. So if you would like, that would also be cool. And maybe we'll see it at Necronomicon next year. So thanks everybody for checking it out. We'll catch you next time.
Right on. Thank you.
Yep. And I'll get that link up later.
Thank you.
So,
I really appreciate it.
How do I end broadcast but not end the? How do I end the broadcast without ending the recording?
You can't. We'll just have to stay on.
Okay.
Yeah. And then until we're wrap.
All right. So Niels, I was there an announcement that this has to happen one way or the other because you can't get out of the contract?
You heard that? That's only been leaked out to an inner circle so far.
Edit the fuck out of this.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Honestly, we'll be announcing very soon, like to the broad community. But basically, we'd kind of made the decision, I think prudently, to bump to 2022, the main convention, and then just do, the usual film festival and maybe a bit more of a gaming component for this coming August instead. Like a little bit more controllable, a little bit easier to draw the brakes on. But we started reaching out to. This is actually just after it finally all kind of came down just after we launched that GoFundMe. So that's why the wording in the GoFundMe doesn't really match up with what I'm saying now. But basically, one of the hotels came back and said, "Nope, if you do that, you've canceled the contract, and you'd owe us $50,000 for damages." Oof. Yeah. So we don't have that kind of money.
Thanks for being understanding.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the some of the venues were like, "Yeah, that totally makes sense." Where everything's up in the air. And one of the hotels, the Omni, just would not at all be flexible on it.
So I know where I'm not staying next year.
Well, right? the problem is we have to have people stay there, otherwise we'll owe them money for that too. So that's the thing. Where like
beautiful hotel.
The nice thing is this all was like basically 2 weeks ago. Then a few days later, it came out, all the vaccines are all coming out, and the epidemiologists are like saying, yeah, actually, it's looking reasonable that by early summer, pretty much everyone should have a vaccine. So
I sure as shit will.
Exactly. Anybody with any brains, but anyway, so the upshot is, by some freaking miracle, it actually kind of looks like maybe it actually will be okay. So regardless, right now, yes, we are 100% go for Necronomicon for next year. We haven't officially announced yet, but we will very soon. And we'll just have to keep fingers crossed that things stay on track, that we don't have a civil war between now and then, and we don't have some outbreak again or something like that. But
now, have you been in contact with your guests of honor, your like all the people that are coming, not just as attendees but as vendors and all the other stuff? Are they pretty much on board? Or
yeah, everyone that we've talked to, unfortunately, mostly because we kind of just drew the brakes over the past several months. There's still a lot of stuff that has to get done between now and then. Like we still haven't lined up all of our guests of honor yet, which is really frustrating. We're honestly not that far behind where we normally would be. It just normally we've thought about it a lot more and have kind of lined up more of the chess pieces, and we just haven't yet.
Sure.
But yeah. Anyway, so the upshot is, good news or bad news, we are at this point 100% planning on doing a Necronomicon.
Hey, Gen Con's planning on going too, so you're in good company.
The year without any cons was just
that's really the other thing is
weird.
Honestly, like we've gotten so many people reaching out to us and just being, please, is there any chance that we really need something to look forward to? So. Yeah. Which is great, at the same time, we don't want to get people sick, So
well,
of course,
yeah.
But I'm getting reasonably optimistic that it'll be okay, that it'll work out, And I think it'll be literally just in time to feel like I think everyone can come and actually feel good and finally get a chance to kind of celebrate and relax a little bit,
It's kind of hard not to feel good and relax when you're drunk, not like 5 hours a day at the con.
But imagine I feel bad for some of the conventions that are late winter or spring or something like that. Like Stoker Con. They're pretty much screwed. I don't even know how they can do it. But in general, convention. We're just grateful that we're literally just enough past where people are predicting things will be okay.
Even the June cons, I would say that's.
I'd be nervous. I wouldn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But Necronomicon's the end of August.
Yep.
So are you thinking maybe masks for the convention?
Yeah,
too?
That's the thing. It's definitely. Yeah, it's not going to be the same convention. We're probably going to limit numbers a little bit, and then really spread things out more. We're going to use more of the larger rooms for panels and things like that, I think. Jessie already has her eyes on spreading out the gaming into basically the top, both top floors at the Biltmore, just to kind of spread out a little bit of the gaming more.
Can I make one suggestion?
Yeah.
Let's put the horror book reading.
Yeah, that's elsewhere.
As far away from the gaming as possible. It's like they were the gamers were running past them because they're peeing on themselves to get to the bathroom, and the horror, the spooky horror reading kept getting interrupted by the dirty gamers.
That was a little awkward.
Both those communities, so I can understand.
Yeah, we already had actually kind of been planning that, but now with COVID, that it is even more of a guarantee, just to again disperse things more. And I think we're already trying to figure out what we'll do for Necronomicon masks. And there'll be hand sanitizer everywhere. All of those things that I think conventions probably should have been doing to some extent anyway. I think now moving forward, they're going to have to. That's going to be part and parcel of convention planning.
I say that you have the the temperature guns at badge pickup at Reg.
God. Yeah, those lines get long enough.
No, no badge for you. You're banned.
See if the girls' school has something very interesting, and I don't know if they rent them out, but they have temperature scanners that they look like metal detectors. But when you walk in, you put your hand up to a section, and it takes your temperature before you walk in.
This is Necronomicon money. This is not Comic-Con money.
We don't. One of the things is
that's Comic-Con money you're talking about, Chibi.
A lot of this is honestly also going to have to be up to the hotels, especially if they're basically forcing us to do it. We're really going to put pressure on them to go, okay, unless you want us to sue you because you forced us to do this, you need to help us out here.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't envy you all the negotiations.
Oh, it's horrible. It's the worst. It's the worst. But yeah.
Have
But
you
I mean,
spoken to a
honestly,
lawyer?
you got to really think about what you're doing for the community, because for a year, all of the fans have really been just hoping and praying that this will be
Yeah.
gone by the time Necronomicon comes around.
Yeah.
Don't lose sight of that. That,
Oh, I mean, like I said, that's honestly that's the only thing, or one of the very few things that's kind of making this, feel good, sort of, so. But that's always the case. Honestly, it's the only reason I even put up with this is because the people that come are awesome and really appreciative. So
it is ridiculous. It's literally Cthulhu Nerdapalooza. Walt and Jamie. It's Jeep and Regina. You haven't been yet, right?
No, I haven't.
no,
my
you should
God.
definitely come. Yeah, please.
It's like,
Oh, I
it's
plan on
like a film festival. They do live podcast broadcasts. They do panels. They do walking tours, gaming.
It's been a while since we've been to a con.
Well, yeah, you've got young kids now, so.
Yeah.
And it's a great food town. There's a bunch of really cool little restaurants in.
Yeah, that's. I mean, honestly, that's
that. But it's a good foodie town.
that's kind of why. I mean, like we call it Necronomicon Providence, not just Necronomicon, because it's very much about the city too. Like we're pretty happy to force people to go out, and that's one of the reasons why it's in multiple venues and things like that. To force people to go and walk around Providence.
And I'm very proud.
Fortunately, hopefully, fingers crossed, some of those restaurants are still surviving by the time.
Oh, yeah.
Next August.
That's right.
Some of them aren't.
Oh,
Some
man,
of
I
them are
hope that
going under.
Japanese place is still there. That Japanese Korean place.
Yeah, there's
Well,
still
yeah. A lot of places have been able to survive with
Takeout.
delivery and takeout and all that kind of stuff. So
it's just unfortunately the next 2 or 3 months are going to be horrifying. I mean, Rhode Island already has. I think maybe a few days ago we were the highest rate of infection in the world.
I think it's us.
wow.
Well, you can thank Tennessee and Ohio for pushing you out, because as of yesterday, it was Tennessee, it was Ohio, and then Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I think Rhode Island, you're good. You're not,
yeah, we're only
in
third.
comparison.
Yeah, Arizona was up there too, and the asshole governor was on the news today. Well, everybody's trying to figure this out. We're not going to mandate masks. Like everybody's just doing what they can. Like wearing a fucking mask, asshole.
Yeah. Meanwhile, literally,
That's what Arizona says, and New York says, "The fuck."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Meanwhile, literally every day now, I hear about friends of mine that have come down with it. It's like, and that used to be like weeks between hearing of somebody I knew, and now it's like every day I hear 2 or 3 people. Like it's just insane.
Yeah, my mom.
Yeah, that's what's going on. We get updates with my kid's school, and it's every at least every other day is a new message being like another member of the school has come down with COVID. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Every time I see this, I say the same fucking thing. I'm like, "Happy Thanksgiving, asshole," because they said
Right.
as soon as Thanksgiving was over, everyone with half a brain who believed in science said, in 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to be so fucked because nobody could stay fucking home.
Yep.
And, you don't have to be Nostradamus. So to hear Arizona say, "Hey, everybody's just trying to figure this out. We don't know what's going on." Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
God. Anyway, well, I have to get back to finish some grading because it's about to go into finals week, and I need to get finished with other grading before finals start.
Well, hang in there. We're all
Thank
pulling
you.
for you.
Right on.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you guys. Thanks very much, everybody. It was awesome. It was a good adventure.
We'll see.
I've never been more happy to not see a Cthulhuoid creature in my life.
Fair.
Maybe I played it up too much. Maybe it was a little too creepy.
No, it was good. It was good. All right, right on. Everyone, take care. I'm gonna run.
Take
Here.
it
Bye.
Well, yeah, no, it was fun. I don't feel like it was anticlimactic. I think it's like more a sense of relief of like, fuck, we didn't have to do that.
Right. I mean, the point is not to fight the monster if you can.
It's not D&D.
Right.
And
you saved the town. You didn't. It wasn't kill the dragon, save the town. It was save the town. If you can do that without fighting the dragon.
I always bring this up, but like at a certain point, they release a D20 version of Cthulhu. So all those monsters were statted out for a Dungeons and Dragons party. Those things will rip through even high-level parties. Like a Shoggoth will rip through a high-level party with magic and everything. Just tear through them. But meanwhile, you're supposed to just shoot it with your friggin' revolver. Mm-hmm. Resistance to magic, resistance to fire, resistance to lightning. Oh yeah, there goes that lightning bolt and fireball combo.
Well, I'm glad that we were able to bring this one to conclusion without it becoming a bloodbath, because that was definitely the way it could have gone.
Oh yeah.
You don't see anybody trying to avoid a fight more than Cthulhu investigators.
What was funny is that because only two of you went up, and not even two of the main fighters, the druid decided to wait. He decided to wait and watch
and be fancy.
Had you guys come up with spears and fucking crossbows, he would have cast that spell immediately. But he was wondering maybe they're going to wander off. And then when Herminius started casting, he's like, "Oh, they're not gonna wander off." He didn't know what the spell was, but he was pretty sure that the spell would discover that he was still there, and that's when he started deciding to do it. So it was just that whole idea, that last minute, hey, let's just the two of us go up. That set that whole thing in motion, and I was like thinking, no, I think he'll probably wait because his second most powerful minion has just been destroyed. So he's like, well, I got to be careful with these guys. If I can not basically summoning that thing, waking it up and controlling it, it takes a lot out of him. It's not something he can easily do or wants to do, and not something he wants to do often. Yeah. So if you guys would have wandered off, he would have been perfectly happy to let you go.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But yeah, when you started casting the spell, like, oh no, he's gonna do this. But since there's only one other person that could possibly rush him, he's gonna monologue a little bit before he does it.
Oh yeah. I mean, you do have to have some. You do have to have somebody with goat leggings and antlers and everything. At a certain point, there has to be some flair.
I'm explaining this because I don't want you guys to think that I softballed you.
No. But, I mean, like, if I missed or didn't roll a 1, we'd all be dead still.
Right. The one was pretty dramatic. He had 11 points, unless you had scored a significant hit. I figured you'd score a significant hit to interrupt the spell and be wrestling around with him, trying to get blood on the acorn.
Yeah.
But you rolled a 1, so I'm like, oh no, that's an insta kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which again, very dramatic. It's not the first time one of my well-crafted villains was just killed in one combat round. Happened with a javelin once at 60 yards. So I was like, really?
Ah, damn it. Why'd I let him have that attack?
You never think that 05 is going to come up, but it does.
Especially not based on the way we were rolling tonight.
Oh my God, you guys couldn't make an occult roll. It was terrible.
I'm out of my element. I need to be in a library. I need some scrolls. This is some bullshit.
Well, you got to do that in London.
Yeah.
There are cities in Britannia.
Yeah.
We did do the urban adventure. It's those are harder to write when you're running every 2 weeks. And running a Star Frontiers game on the alternate weeks.
Yeah. You're stuck now running.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's brainless. It's a way to turn my brain off from Call of Cthulhu.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. I'm glad it's going well.
Yeah, well, first session went pretty well. Well, they, and again, I haven't played with these guys often, or some of them at all. And none of us have ever played Star Frontiers together. So for the first session, to go as well as it did, I'm very encouraged.
Are there, with Star Frontiers, I know it was originally BRP, but is it still that, or is it something
Yeah,
new?
well, we're using. It actually had a second edition that had a new rule set.
Oh, okay.
I'm not using that. And somebody wrote in a fanzine came up with a way to streamline the original rules.
Okay.
So I'm kind of using that streamlined original rule system. So I guess
Sorry.
Bless you.
I'm playing Star Frontiers 1.5.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about it too much.
No,
I'll
just
throw a link in the
enjoying yourself.
I probably should have mentioned it when we were closing out, but I'll throw a link in the show notes.
Oh, the Star Frontiers thing?
Yeah.
God, I'm embarrassed.
All right, I have to run.
All right,
I'm
good night.
meeting my students tomorrow. Good night,
Great
everybody.
game. Thank you. Take care.
It's fun and it's stupid, and I put way too much effort into this adventure that I wrote for it. It's like I wrote it and then I went back and I added all these details to it, and I realized I have written the most professionally written, most detailed Star Frontier adventure ever written for the game for no reason whatsoever. I can't publish it. It's going to, one person on my Patreon will get the script. It's like, I'm like, why did I do that? Well, because I couldn't stop myself. Once I started writing, I couldn't stop myself. But we'll see. Maybe it'll come in. Maybe it'll turn into something. Maybe it won't. But
We're having fun.
Yeah. So, excuse me. Everybody, stay safe.
All right.
Stay safe.
Yes, you
Protect
as well.
yourself. Nobody wants to die in the last chapter of the book.
Oh,
For sure.
Or if we don't play, Oscar will call you on Christmas morning with the girls.
Sure thing. All right, guys. Should I close it?
Yeah. You
all right.
can
Take care, everybody.
Let us-
Thanks for the game.
All right, everyone.
Yep.
All right, have a good night.
We'll see you.
Good night.